A few years later, and I am with my friend Eddy. We are walking through a park heading toward the Dike, an enormous hill engineered to protect this area of downtown Fargo from flooding by the Red River during the spring melt. I have picked up 2 branches from a poplar tree and am carrying one in each hand, branches that have fallen from a storm the night before. The hill is the highest peak in Fargo, and so we climb all the way up it to see the river on the eastern side and to watch the sun as it was setting in the west. I sit down and I put the branches over my head like a kind of antenna, and I begin to call, "Hello! Is anybody there? Do you see me? Hey ah, hey ah, hey ah!" I sing from a Laurie Anderson song, one that Eddy has been playing a lot of recently, trying to irritate me, exposing me to new things. Hey ah he, hey ah. Eddy watches me as I'm intent on my focus, calling the stars. "Hello, is anybody there? Do you see me?" Eddy interrupts my spell with his sarcastic and condescending, What are you going to do if they answer the phone?" I was at the time reading another book by Shirley, Out on a Limb. In this book, she talks about discovering Eastern religions, exploring options about past lives, learning about UFOs and things that, to me, go bump in the night. She also refers to a trip to Peru. Peru! I want to go to Peru! And it's on this trip where she has a kind of experience with something she calls the Pleiades. And this is the part of the book that captures my imagination. And so, like the chant and call from the top of the hill, I began meditating, trying to contact the Pleiadians too. I mean, I thought if I can't go to Peru and get a hold of them, maybe I can get them to come to me. I imagined myself a kind of satellite sending out a call of sorts just to the right of Orion's belt in the star cluster's general direction. Nothing happened, of course. But my telephone, a landline, did begin ringing day after day, a number of times a day, with no one on the other end. So much so that I had to call the phone company and complain about it, but they could find nothing wrong with my line and no extra phone calls. Then one night, I was laying in my futon on the floor when the futon shook back and forth hard while I was doing my meditation. I sat up. What the fuck was that? Moonlight projected herself through the grid of the window, casting long blue rectangular lights that stretched out on the floor towards me. It was a late winter night with snow on the ground outside below and the branches of a tree just outside that window not moving. I realized I must have slipped asleep and my body shook, waking me. So I laid back down and resumed my call. The bed shook hard back and forth this time. I sat up and I turned on my light. My cat Jade was now in the windowsill, her back arched and fur out in full electrified puff. I looked at the AM/FM clock radio, saw that it was 4 a.m, and called Eddy. And he answered. "I told you so. I said, what are you going to do when they answer the telephone?"